Hi everybody, welcome back to Evermore YouTube channel. It's Chris back with the Rumour Has It video where we're talking about players linked to the football club this coming transfer window. January is never an easy window to sign anybody, but Newcastle United definitely need to sign somebody, at least one or two players, I think, just to add squad depth to this squad that's really turned a corner already how recently and is pushing back towards the right end of the table. But we're going to get stuck into a player here. It's a player who's featured on Rumour Has It before, but his name is back out in the media, so I thought we'll just do a bit of an updated video on him. We'll get stuck right into this in a minute. He's a defender, surprisingly enough. That's a big position that we all know we need to sign. But just before we do, a little reminder, as we always say, if you haven't already, smash subscribe, come help join us. Get to 9,000 subscribers. That's our next milestone. Loads of you subscribed already. Really appreciate that. Really appreciate all the lovely comments people leave us as well. The likes and all of the stuff really helps the channel grow. So if you haven't smashed that button yet and ever more, please do so. Recommend us to family and friends if you are already subscribed and help get us up to that 9,000. So it'd be lovely to finish the year on 9,000 and give away our great prize of the retro Keegan style blue McEwen shirt as well. So that's that out of the way. Let's get stuck into who I'm talking about right now. I'm talking about this player, and that is Jonathan Tah. Rings a bell because we have talked about him before. So he plays for Bayer Leverkusen. He was an integral member of the Bayer Leverkusen team that won the Bundesliga under the cool as fuck Xabi Alonso last season. I love that bloke. How cool is he? Looks like he could still play, by the way. I'd sign Xabi Alonso tomorrow as a player, but this isn't about Xabi Alonso. This is about his player, Jonathan Tah. So Jonathan Tah's contract is going to expire with Leverkusen in 2025. And apparently, his representatives have already told Leverkusen that he's not going to extend his contract. Pulling it back to the manager a little bit there, I have a theory on Leverkusen, and I think that Xabi Alonso is probably going to end up in the Real Madrid job when Carlo Ancelotti leaves. Be a lot of pressure on Carlo Ancelotti recently. No idea why. One of the best managers in the modern day game, to be fair. But since the Kylian Mbappe signing, things have been a little bit tetchy behind the scenes, I think, at Real Madrid. And Carlo Ancelotti's felt a little bit of heat on his collar, which I don't know why. But Xabi Alonso, for me, is the Real Madrid manager in waiting. And I think that probably will happen at the end of this season. I think they'll give him another chance to reclaim the Bundesliga or, obviously win it again, repeat the feat that they did last season. Be difficult. I think Bayern look really focused this season under Vincent Kompany, but I really do think that that's what's going to happen at the end of the season. So no surprise, Jonathan Tah probably thinking, I ain't signing here because Alonso ain't staying. I don't quite think Jonathan Tah is Real Madrid level. I'm not saying he's not a good player. I'm going to tell you why I think he is a good player in a minute, but I don't think he's that kind of level at the minute. So the teams who are sniffing around him are obviously Spurs, Manchester United, who seem to want to sign every centre half in the world, and then they get injured and then they can't play. And Newcastle United, apparently we've opened talks with his representatives about signing this player in the January transfer window. Now, funny enough, Jonathan Tah did have a failed deal to Bayern Munich go tits up in the summer. And he was a little bit pissed, I think, at that. That's probably another reason why he isn't going to sign a new contract at Bayer Leverkusen. But he's knuckled down. He's played 10 games this season, scored a goal. He likes a goal, does Jonathan Tah, I must say. He's a bit of a goal scorer in centre-half. I think he's got nearly 20 goals in his whole career as a centre-half now, which is a pretty decent feat in all fairness. Reminds you of somebody, a certain Swiss handsome bastard who plays for us. But he's a very good player, and these are his skill sets, really. His passing is brilliant. He's got a great ping on him. He brings the ball out of defense. He's very composed on the ball, good ball control, got a bit of pace as well, which is really good. And he's right-footed, which is more important for our whole team balance, because we know Eddie likes a right footer and a left footer as a centre-half pairing. Sven Botman is on the way back, hopefully to stay back fit for a long period of time, because that kid is different class, and he's going to be the main fulcrum of our defense, no doubt, moving forward. But we need to have a long-term successor for Fabian Schär, in my opinion, who's aged a bit, I believe, this year. Not in the way he looks. He still looks, absolutely gorgeous, doesn't he, to be fair? I wish I like a Fabian Schär. But as a player, he looks a little slightly off it. He's still a very good defender. Some of these Hollywood passes that he does don't quite come off when he runs out from defense now with the ball. He gets caught a little bit. It's almost like going to the Euros in the summer has really fatigued Fabi's body a little bit, I think. And how we could have done with the centre half in the summer transfer window. We know the whole Mark Gahey saga. Maybe the club will go back in for Mark Gahey. He looked really good next to Lewis Hall and Timo Livramento for England the other night. Seem to have a good understanding with Lewis Hall as well. So maybe the club will go back in for Gahey. But I just feel like they've had their fingers burned by the prick that is Steve Parish, wanting 70 million quid for the lad. And, they may switch the focus somewhere else, like Jonathan Tah. You can see there his progressive passing as well, up in the 99th percentile. Really, really good stats there. His passing at the final third, up in the 90th percentile. Aerials one, he's very good in the air. He's up in the 85s. Touches, I think he's right up in the 80s as well there. Errors, he's kind of round about the middle mark, so he makes the odd little mistake here and there, but he's brave on the ball, likes to come out and try and make passes. Sometimes centre-halves do that as well. Recoveries is very strong as well. And in terms of being dispossessed, he's a little bit low down on the threshold for that one as well. But in terms of his tackles, doesn't do a lot of tackling. And that might be because of the league he's in or the team he's in or whatever, but he seems to try and intercept more, as you can see there from the statistics in terms of a defender. I don't know if that concerns you a little bit. The Premier League is slightly different, to the Bundesliga, so he might have to do a lot more tackling, and maybe we need to see whether he is good at tackling. But when he does put a challenge in, he seems to do it all right. To be fair, just his stats can be a little bit misleading, depending on kind of what team he's playing in that particular league. But if you look at the other stats there in terms of his wages, he's on a very modest wage. Newcastle could double, treble that without breaking sweat, without worrying about PSR or FFP. His contract expires obviously in June, as I say. So even though the market rate value from I think is around about 30 million euros, so Mark's probably about right there with 25 million quid. They might not get all that for him. Given the fact that his contract expires in the summer, they might be worried about maybe keeping him too long, or they might think he's an integral player and say, fuck it, we'll keep him and let him go on a free next summer or whatever. But if Newcastle whack a bid in the January transfer window, probably round about maybe 22, 23 million quid for this kid, I think they could get him. And I think he's a very, very good player. And he would add serious quality and depth to the squad. You can see how he compares on a radar grid to Fabian Schär. Again, the tackles from Fabian Schär and the progressive carries are a lot stronger, and his blocks and clearances are a lot stronger. Fabi's a bit more of a traditional defender, but he's playing in a league where you have to be like that, and that might be why the stats are a little bit misconstrued. But in terms of the passes and pass completion, you can see Tar beats Fabian Schär on that regard, and the aerials one as well. He's a bit better in the air. He's big and he's strong, he's quick. 28 years old, he's at the peak of his powers, 33 times capped for Germany. He's described as one of the best footballers, a best signing. He'd be a really good signing, Jonathan Tah, I think, for Newcastle United, and a real bargain as well, I think, for around about 22, 23 million quid. So it's well worth doing. But let us know in the comments below what you guys think about Jonathan Tah. Would you guys sign for him, or do you think we should go back in for Mark Guéhi? A centre-back is definitely high on the agenda for us, I believe, in this January transfer window. It's a difficult window to buy in, so maybe going abroad to the Bundesliga might be a better idea, because over in the UK, they will price you out of moves for players. But we always like to hear from you guys. Let us know in the comments below what you think about Jonathan Tah. Would you sign him? Do you think we've got a good chance? Manchester United and Spurs also in for him. Have we got a good shot against them too? I'd like to think we would do, and hopefully Newcastle are open to do business in January. We always like to hear from you. Drop a comment and we'll do our best to reply to you. Like and subscribe. Help the channel grow. Keep it ever more, guys. We'll be back with some more Rumour Has It videos soon. We'll catch you later.